Good morning, everyone. I'm Martin Cullen, Chair of the Alumni Association, and a very warm welcome to our annual general meeting, which we're delighted also includes a keynote address from Professor Nishan Kanagaraja, President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Leicester. We are delighted to be hosting our very first virtual event for alumni today, and it's fantastic that we're able to be joined by alumni from all over the world. Just a few things to mention before we get started. Could I please ask that you post your full name, course of study and graduation year in the Q&A function on Teams, just so that we know that you've been able to join us today. Don't worry though, these won't be published, it will just be for our information. This function also provides an opportunity for you to send in questions for the President and Vice-Chancellor for the Q&A that he will be doing following on from his keynote address. So please do start sending your questions now. And if there's a particular question that's posted by someone else that you'd also like answered, then please make sure you like it, because we'll go through the most popular questions first. So we will hear from Nishan in a few minutes, followed by his question and answer session, and we'll then move to the official business of the Alumni Association AGM. But before we do that, I'm very excited to be able to reveal our brand new virtual alumni events programme, Festival of Change, Partnering with Alumni to Make a Difference, that we are launching today. Today is the first of many events taking place as part of Festival of Change, which will run until April 2021, when the university's centenary celebrations begin. This is a great opportunity for alumni to engage with the university, no matter where you are in the world, and we have a short video for you now.
Uniting our global alumni community through a series of virtual events, I'll be reflecting on the 35th anniversary of DNA fingerprinting, famously discovered by Professor Sir Alec Jeffreys here at Leicester.
And you can join me as I look back on my time as the first Black woman Students' Union President of Leicester University, and also find out what it was really like to grow up as a mixed-race kid in Britain in the 1950s and 60s.
I'll be hosting the launch of the new medical alumni chapter with a series of talks delivered by alumni and university staff. These will be on COVID-19 research and mental health issues. I do hope you can join us.
And as Black Lives Matter continues to gather global momentum, I'll be discussing its origins as well as its potential, and also the challenges it faces in achieving meaningful and long-lasting social change.
We hope you'll join us as we unite our global alumni community, however far apart we may be. So I do hope that video has given you a taste of what's to come. Now, please do keep sending in your questions for the Vice-Chancellor, as I know he's very keen to answer anything that you may like to ask him. But without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce University of Leicester President and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nishan Kanagaraja, to deliver his keynote address.
Hello, everyone. It is an honor for me to welcome you all to this dedicated event for alumni and friends of the university. All of you were at Leicester at very different times from how I found it in my first year. We are certainly living in a very challenging period, which makes it more important than ever before that we all continue to work together to ensure the success and prosperity of our great university. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself, as I know most of you will not have met or heard from me before, and I don't want to be a stranger to you. My background and context is relevant because it has shaped my life and my views and helped me to determine my vision for Leicester. I was born in Jaffna in Sri Lanka and grew up in a country torn apart by civil war. I lost many friends in the conflict and the future was uncertain. My parents were both teachers, and from a young age, I learned how priceless education is. I realized how transformative it could be when I won a scholarship funded by philanthropy to study engineering at University of Cambridge. It changed my life and empowered me to go on and study for a doctorate, also from Cambridge. Those early years in England, when everything felt so strange and new, will not be unfamiliar to many of you who are international students. Idioms and expressions that were commonplace in England were strange and new to me. You could say I was at 6s and 7s as it were, when I first came here. But what lifted me was the kindness and spirit of generosity that I found here, and the shared belief in the power of education, which has been lasting memories. These are the values that are important, not only for individuals, but within organizations. I'm reminded that this great university was founded upon these same values. The generosity of community leaders, philanthropists, and local people who resolutely supported the establishment of the university 100 years ago, and our commitment to create a better future for those who study here. I never met the benefactors who provided the scholarship that changed my life. Those were invisible hands that transported me from a land of conflict to the corridors of higher education in the UK. They gave me the gift of learning, which I've treasured all my life. They gave so that I can give back. I am a living testament to how higher education can be so empowering. And I'm determined to ensure that our university is ever more inclusive in order to maximize for all the special experience and opportunities that we offer. Change comes from the top, and I'm determined to change the face of higher education at Leicester by making this university a flagship institution for inclusivity, diversity across the higher education sector. I have made commitment to eliminating the awarding gap between ethnic minority and white students, which sees too many students missing out on top grades and hence opportunities with leading employers. The awarding gap refers to the difference between the chances of white and ethnic minority students getting a first or upper second class honours degree. The University of Leicester has an awarding gap of 10% compared to the national average of 13%. A positive start, but my ambition is to eliminate that by 2025. In the near future, we will launch the Leicester Institute for Inclusion in Higher Education. This institute will help to ensure that we become a leader in transformational higher education, addressing access, transition and support challenges, and in particular awarding gaps and outcome differences affecting students from different backgrounds and genders. My priorities in education are supporting a curriculum suited to the needs and opportunities and the challenges of the next century, and suited for a diverse and talented student body. It is clear, as we move into our next century, that our student makeup will continue to be diverse in ambition and geographical reach. We must ensure our curriculum and student support create a truly inclusive environment for every student to flourish and achieve their full potential. I was very pleased that our university has introduced postgraduate scholarships for BAME students, enabling them to progress into academia as a career. We identified early that BAME colleagues are especially underrepresented in the social sciences and humanities, and we created a bespoke, fully funded scholarship scheme for the start of this academic year. I'm delighted that we will have 10 outstanding postgraduate taught and 5 graduate teaching assistant scholarship holders for the start of this academic year. These individuals all have excellent academic credentials and will help our staff community to be more reflective of the diversity of our student community. Changing the world for the better strikes the very ethos of this university. I'm getting messages, so I'm going to cut that off. Sorry about that. Changing the world for the better strikes the very ethos of this university. We were founded after World War I with the motto, Ut vitam habeant, so that they may have life. It is a message of hope for the future, to build through education a foundation for a better society. In these turbulent times, our shared mission is as true now as it ever was. We call ourselves citizens of change here at Leicester. We empower and encourage our staff and students to achieve their full potential and to learn how to contribute and benefit those around them. We want everyone to be a force for good. As a community of 18,000 students, 4,000 staff, and nearly 200,000 alumni and friends, it is important that we learn and benefit from each other. Undoubtedly, together we are stronger. COVID-19 has brought many challenges for the university and our communities. I'm really proud how this university, staff, students, alumni, friends, and donors have risen to this unprecedented challenge and made a remarkable contribution to our response to this pandemic. Never has the quality of the institution in the sense of capacity for caring and compassion for those in need been demonstrated. As members of our local resilience forum, we were able to make a strategic and operational contribution to the well-being of our community. We worked in partnership with the local authorities, NHS, public health officials on the UK's largest ever test and trace drive, which targeted all households in COVID-affected areas. More than 200 students, staff from the university signed up to help as volunteers. We worked together with our partners on strengthening community cohesion. The local outbreak, worryingly, prompted a rise in racial hate on social media and some areas of our community. Following unhelpful media narratives around the origin of the spread of the outbreak being in an ethnically diverse area of the city, this was unacceptable. And the university worked with our partners to promote positive messages of tolerance and unity. As a leading research-intensive university, Leicester has been ranked as one of the top performing universities in the UK for COVID-19 research, after being awarded more than 10.8 million of grant funding since the pandemic began. Our researchers were the first in the world to discover that people from ethnic minorities were more susceptible to severe cases of coronavirus, and will now lead a new £8.4 million national research study into the long-term health impacts of COVID-19. Colleagues have gone above and beyond to provide support for our students, to keep our campus safe, to move our teaching online with sector-leading initiatives, to develop digital recruitment events, to deliver online exams, create virtual graduations and matriculation. We are one of the first universities in the UK to have introduced a COVID-19 screening program. Students and staff at the university will be screened for COVID-19 as part of our plans to keep the campus safe and the wider community safe. Our alumni, friends and supporters have all played a key part in responding to COVID-19, continuing to support both the City of Leicester and the university. Volunteering to mentor final year students, creating congratulatory messages for the class of 2020, and making and donating face masks. Local alumni were approached to support and test and trace in the city too. They are just some of the practical ways our alumni and the wider university family of supporters have risen to this challenge. They've also been visible and active at national level, including members of SAGE, and in supporting their own local communities across the world. Alumni and friends have generously supported students and groundbreaking research through generous philanthropic gifts. More than £200,000 has been raised to fund the Emergency Student Hardship Fund, with an additional £100,000 in vital philanthropic support for students. We have processed over 450 awards from this fund to help students through this difficult period. In addition, early stage diagnostic research led by Professor Mike Barrow on COVID-19 testing was quickly supported by over £6,000 in gifts from the alumni and friends. Research at Leicester will continue to find new ways of combating COVID-19 in diagnosis, treatment, aftercare, and prevention. Our teams continue to need philanthropic support to leverage match funding or to advance programs more quickly or in new directions that ultimately benefit communities across the UK and the world. We hope that our alumni and friends community will stay with us and help us fund this groundbreaking research and our Student Hardship Fund when we launch new appeals later this year and in 2021. For students, we have developed Ignite, which combines face-to-face on-campus study with flexible digital learning. Ignite is a blended approach, providing the education students deserve without compromising their safety. They can fully enjoy the university experience, both physically and virtually, and switch easily between the two as and when they need to. From day one, students have been able to meet and make friends for life in person, at university, and with accommodation packages to match. Through Ignite, students have the flexibility to switch easily between a real-world university experience and a virtual one, as and when they need to. They will have access to our world-leading academics, our coronavirus-safe campus, their circle of friends, and still be part of our inclusive campus community. Our commitment to students extends beyond their years at the university and in ways that benefit the community. We have worked in collaboration with Leicester City Council and De Montfort University to set up an internship scheme that will support small businesses to offer hundreds of workplace opportunities to students. The scheme will see more than £1.6 million in new dedicated funding to encourage graduates to stay in Leicester once they have successfully completed their studies. The Leicester Graduate City, the scheme will be used to set up a range of 6-week internships at local businesses to be completed by second-year students at both local universities. As well as offering students workplace training, the internships will highlight the range and quality of job opportunities available locally for graduates, helping to promote and increase graduate retention. We would love for alumni, friends, partners to get involved with this much-needed initiative to support students who have recently faced more challenges than most. If this is something you would think you might be able to help with, then please do get in touch with our alumni engagement team. Producing career-ready graduates and supporting the local and UK economy is central to our mission. The university recently published its Economic and Social Impact Report, a study which revealed once they graduate, 23% of our students choose to make Leicester their home. In addition, students spend 10 million with local businesses annually, and almost 20,000 students contribute to the city's economy in shops, bars, and restaurants. The report reveals we contribute 300 million to the economy of Leicester and Leicestershire, and 600 million to the national economy. We support 1 in every 23 jobs in Leicester, further 7,000 across the country, and 10,000 in total across the UK. We are committed to playing a leading role locally, nationally, and across the world as we seek to rebuild and re-energize our communities and economies. As part of our commitment to the well-being of our students and staff in the current pandemic, we have revisited the scope of our capital projects to focus on those key developments that deliver maximum benefit for our students and enhance our research and teaching mission. We have 4 major projects totaling over £250 million underway or just completed. We have completed our £15.8 million Brookfield project to create a School of Business at a dedicated site on London Road, just 10 minutes walk from the campus. One of the buildings on the site includes the former home of the founder of the university, Thomas Fielding Johnson, which is a wonderful historical footnote for the university. We have spent £20 million on the refurbishment and extension of Percy G, which houses the student union, to create flexible multi-user areas all in one space. In addition, the 4-story expansion will feature a new dedicated informatics lab, a high-tech media center, and a performance studio for all state-of-the-art facilities to meet the needs of our students. Nearly £95 million is going towards the Space Park Leicester, a world-leading cluster for innovative research, enterprise, and education in space and Earth observation. Space Park Leicester represents a collaborative community for academia and industry to develop and grow. Construction is now underway, with the first building scheduled to open in early 2021. Many of you will have memories of Freeman's Common, The site is now being transformed through the investment of £148 million into new student accommodation, a teaching and learning centre, as well as a multi-storey car park. It'll create a student hub right next to the university campus and near the city centre. I hope when these projects are completed that many of you will have a chance to visit and rekindle memories of your time at Leicester and see how the university is progressing and preparing for the future. Our worldwide alumni community continues to go from strength. The total number of alumni stands at almost 200,000, and in total we have alumni in 191 countries and territories. The community of alumni, friends and supporters are key to the prosperity of this university. In the year ahead, we will mark 100 years to our foundation as a university college. We are planning a wide program of events with the support of the Alumni Association, civic organizations and partners. And we are looking forward to celebrating the centenary with you and engaging with even more alumni and friends across the world. As the world has embraced virtual technology, we too are moving our alumni engagement activities online. Today's event is the first of many virtual events as part of the Festival of Change. That will be one offer for our alumni over the coming months. From academic lectures and talks to quizzes and virtual tours, there is something for everyone, no matter where you are in the world. Along with our events, our communications will shift to being predominantly e-communications. So please ensure you sign up for our emails to ensure you stay up to date with all the university news, as well as hearing about all the events available. We are delighted that one of our events will be the launch of the new medical alumni chapter, which is happening later this year. I offer them my congratulations, and we look forward to engaging, meeting, and partnering with many more of our medical alumni. Our already well-established chapters in Ghana, Hong Kong, Nigeria, and London continue to thrive. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have ensured these chapters are a success. The PACE team are hoping to launch an alumni chapter in Cyprus later next year. Also going strong is the Leicester International Institute at Dalian University of Technology, which is a Sino-foreign cooperative educational institution jointly established on the 29th of March 2017. This year, we also welcomed our inaugural cohort of students on our joint educational program with Chongqing Medical University. This partnership builds on our proud record of successes of working together for many years, not only between our nations, but between our universities. Our joint education partnership is the only one of 3 in clinical medicine China, and only clinical medicine joint educational partnership in Western China. I've enjoyed meeting many members of the Alumni Association and working with the chairman of the Alumni Committee, Martin Cullen, and his colleagues. I have seen your passion, commitment firsthand, which is highly motivating and a great strength for our university. The community of alumni and friends have an ever more important part to play in achieving our shared ambitions, particularly in student recruitment, careers and employability, raising our profile, and philanthropic support. Our alumni are our ambassadors. Your success and achievements speak volumes for the kind of institution we are. Our success is also your success, and we have an enduring one for life. You're already involved in so many ways. For example, in careers, helping provide internships for our talented students as part of the Leicester Graduate City Scheme. Sharing your experience that can inspire current and prospective students from a range of backgrounds. This could be inspiring to them to come to university and further their education, or whether it drives them with their career aspirations. As I've already touched upon, by 2020, we want to eliminate the awarding gap as a university. And our alumni from our BME communities will be greatly important role models, whose case studies and profiles can do so much to inspire others to follow in their footsteps. We also have a new opportunity for alumni to become involved in the centenary celebrations, which my colleagues will share with you shortly. If you are interested in giving back through your time or experience, or in any of these opportunities, then please do get in touch with the alumni engagement team to express your interest and information. Equally, if you're interested in supporting our COVID-19 research or our amazing students with scholarships, or supporting our early career researchers through fellowships, then please do let us know. I would like to thank you, our alumni and friends, for your sterling support, commitment, passion, and wise counsel. I'm sure with your continuing support and passion that your university will successfully navigate the current challenges and continue to grow and flourish. We cannot achieve our share without your vital support. And I'm very much looking forward to working with you and meeting you in the years ahead. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Nishan. I'm sure everyone found that really interesting, especially those that, like you say, haven't been able to hear from you before. And thank you for delivering such an insightful and informative address. Now, we have been receiving lots of questions from alumni, so I'm going to spend about the next 10 to 15 minutes going through as many of those as I can. But just before that, just really quickly, a request from the team behind the scenes. If people are able to, attendees are able to post their full details in the Q&A section, that would be really helpful, just so we know you've been able to join us today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over to the questions. So I'm going to read the first question that we've got, Nishan, from Richard Osborne. He says, "Morning, Nishan. Having thoroughly enjoyed my time as a student in Leicester, I am now pleased to have made it my home and have enjoyed continuing to support the university students with mentoring and assisting with law seminars over the last few years. I have two questions. What is the university doing to encourage graduates to remain in the city or region, and how important is it for local businesses to engage with the university?"
Okay. I hope I'm live. So thank you, Richard. So as I mentioned in my address, the Leicester Graduate City Scheme is one example where we're investing 1.6 million with the City Council and De Montfort University to create internship opportunities. Because I'm an engineer and I've in my time I've set up a lot of internships. They're a valuable source of opportunities for students to get to know what careers they want to go to and where they want to live and work. So I think we need to create more of these opportunities by working in partnership with the local businesses, voluntary sector, and public sector bodies, so that our students get these opportunities early on, a taste of what those careers look like. And that is on one hand what we can do for our students. Similarly, our career service are now doing more to create internship opportunities, bringing employers into the university to create them opportunities and so on. And myself, I'm working a lot with the City Council, with the Mayor. I'm working with a lot of the businesses, because I think they also need to play their part. They need to make the city an attractive place and need to welcome our students to sell the opportunities for them to stay on in the city. So those are the short-term things that we can do. And in my previous job, I did a lot to bring in inward investment. So I'm working with a local enterprise partnership and the City Council to do more than that, because we need to think slightly longer term. What kind of a transport infrastructure we need? What kind of a housing infrastructure do we need? What kind of an entertainment offering we need? Because young people, when they want to stay in a place, they don't want to just work. They want to have a good quality of life, and they want to be able to travel and enjoy, do a lot of social things as well. So as a city, I'm working with the City Council and the lab to see how we can think slightly longer term about creating the infrastructure to make this a thriving city, so it becomes attractive for our graduates to stay in Leicester.
Thank you, Nishan, for that answer. Next question is from Chris Hyam, and it reads, "We've heard so much about the downsides of COVID-19 and the changes it has forced for higher education in the media. Do you see any upsides for the wider sector and for Leicester?"
That's a great question. That is a great question. I think that is the approach that we have taken, Chris. So the approach that I have taken, the words that I've used with my leadership team, is that when we come out of COVID, we don't want to go back to how we were before COVID. I want to go back to where we would have liked to be in a few years' time. So we have an opportunity to put things in place, so we are future-proof and we can do things that we might not have been able to do. So the upside, I think, so this event is a great example. We are now doing a lot of things virtually. So within the university campus, I'm encouraging some of our staff to work from home, especially if they have caring commitments or family commitments or other consideration. we should be able to support, because we've learned it can be done. So we need to create a blended working experience for our staff and be more flexible. So I think that will change the way we work. The way we study is going to change, because again, we are finding this blended way of learning is helpful. It will never replace the face-to-face, the kind of, you meet a lecturer, you meet a fellow student, you get inspired, you have a very engaging conversation. It'll never take that away. We need to create that opportunity, but equally, we can do things online. And the third thing I would say is that we can also make education available to a lot of people who may not have had access to it before. So we could become a true inclusive education offer. So these are some of the things that I think will change, and research will change. Some of the questions we will be looking at might change as well. So I think that we will look at different ways of working and learning in a university setting, but some of the things will not change. As I said, they will still remain, but still early days, because I think there is a lot of uncertainty as to how the society itself is going to adapt, and clearly we as a university need to adapt to that as well. So I think it's exciting, and I think it's good that obviously nobody's happy about COVID, but we need to get the best out of this crisis and move forward.
Great, thank you for that answer, Nishan. The next question, unfortunately this is from anonymous, so I don't know the name, but if someone did want to claim credit for that, they can. It reads, over the last several years, Leicester has unfortunately been falling down the National University League tables, and the current position is not where obviously anyone would like it to be. What are you hoping to do to try and improve this?
Absolutely, and I think as alumni, understandably, this would be one of your concerns, because you want your alma mater to be recognized in all the league tables higher up, and I totally agree, it is not a good position to be in. And so I have set a strategy in place to improve our offer for our students, so they have the greatest experience at the university, so they feel in all the league tables, it reflects the quality of experience they have. Similarly, our research, they feature a lot in international league tables. So we need to make sure that we appear in the global league tables, which measure the quality of our research. So I'm again putting in place various plans to kind of support the key research areas where internationally recognized. So this is the challenge, but unfortunately, some of the things I will have difficulty doing, because the university is not in a strong financial position to do everything I want to do. So I have to prioritize. So over the next few years and months, I will put a plan in place. So some of them we will be able to do quickly, and some of them we'll have to wait and see how we can generate the additional funding we need. But I think the other point I would make is that the league tables, they all measure different things. And what I've said to my university leadership team is we should focus on what we can control. We can't control how the other universities perform or what they do, but we can control what we do in terms of the student experience, the quality of the teaching that the students get, because sometimes that is a strong key component in the league table, and we don't have to worry. We need to have a target. So for example, I'm setting targets on things that we can control regardless of our position in the international league table. But I'm optimistic if we do well and meet my targets, we will be going up on the league tables. So that's what we are working on, and it is about, and the league tables don't drive my strategy. I develop the strategy on our core values and the core purpose of the university, and if we do them well, the league tables will take care of themselves.
Brilliant. Thank you, Nishan. Just try and squeeze two more questions in, I think. So the next question is from Peter Dundas, and that is, other than monetary donations, how else do you feel alumni can help the university in these challenging times?
As I said, Peter, what I would like to do, you can do many things. Giving up your time to kind of promote the university would be good. And if there are events, please, as much as you can, attend them, because just seeing our alumni engaging makes a very positive difference to us. It feels that there are people who really care and want this university to be successful. So giving up your time and attending events or joining wherever you can, that will be great help. And the other one is, again, coming to the university or meeting some of our staff and students, because they will be inspired by some of the achievements of our alumni or the advice they might get from them. Or it might be setting up career opportunities for them, as I mentioned, internship opportunities, or opening doors where we may not have managed to get in. So I think these are many ways I would hope the alumni can help, and also give us your ideas. If there are things that you can do that we haven't thought about, do let us know, and we will take a look and see whether that is something we should be doing. So we're open to ideas and suggestions. There are some things we can do, which is in some ways tried and tested, and we know they make a difference. And there are others we will try new ways of working with you to see how we can benefit this, make sure this partnership benefits everybody concerned.
Excellent. Thank you, Nishan. And then I think just try and squeeze in one more question, which I think is a good one to end on. Again, unfortunately, this is from an anonymous guest, but again, if you want to claim this question, please do drop your details in the Q&A. But it's, what is the most surprising thing that you have discovered about Leicester University in your first few months in the role?
That's a great question. There are many things, I think. The first thing I would say is that, or what I have said to my colleagues is that Leicester is regarded very highly by many people around the world. Many people feel Leicester is a quality institution, and in fact, the kind of congratulatory messages I got from around the world, from people I collaborate with, I know is, oh, you're going to Leicester. A real positive feedback. But when I came to the university, unfortunately, due to some of the challenges that they have faced, I found that ambition and that feeling of we're a good university was not felt. And that's what I'm working on right now, to build that confidence in the university community. We are a great university and we can do great things. So that is one of the key engagement activities that I'm working on. And the second thing I would say that surprised me is that this university was very well engaged at the city level, but recently the city engagement with the university has not been one that we should be pleased about. It was lacking in many respects. In fact, in my second day at the office, I went to see the city mayor, and he said, oh, we don't have a lot of engagement with the city, with the university. We think it's the university up on the hill, doesn't care about the rest of the community. But partly through COVID, and even before that, I've done a lot of engagement with the city. And in fact, last week, the mayor called me and said, everybody is speaking very highly of University of Leicester and the way we respond to the crisis and the way we are engaging with the city, the graduate internships program that I talked about. So it surprised me that the university was not really as engaged as it should have been with the city. And again, I think now a lot is happening, especially through the health research and the business engagement, and we need to do more. So these are the two things that I would say that kind of surprised me when I came. One, lack of confidence and ambition, which should be there for a quality institution like Leicester, and the kind of the insular nature of the university for various reasons, and just trying to go out there and making a difference. And that's why I think our mission and our Citizens of Change brand is making a huge difference within the local community and further afield.
That's great. Thank you, Nishan, for all of those answers. Unfortunately, that is all the time we've got for questions. But what I know is going to be happening is that the alumni engagement team will be publishing answers to any of the other questions that were asked on the university website. So I'm sure that will be that will be useful for people that unfortunately haven't had the question answered today. But thank you very much, Nishan, for engaging with the Q&A. That was really appreciated by myself, and I know it will be by fellow alumni, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to do it again sooner rather than later. Obviously, if you are interested in any of the opportunities available to alumni that have been mentioned by Nishan in his address, then please do get in touch with either myself or the alumni engagement team. But now, anyway, we're going to move on to the official business of the annual general meeting. So hopefully you will be able to see a slide set appear. So this is the 62nd annual general meeting of our Alumni Association. So if we can, I think, get the agenda papers have been, I think papers have been sent out in advance, but just to clarify here, we're going to run through the items listed. So there's some updates from us, and there's also some showcasing of opportunities where you're able to get involved with university activity. And then also we'll be, if we've got any time at the end, I'll try and answer any questions if there are any. So I thought the the best way to, the first thing that we need to do is, of course, approve the minutes of our last annual general meeting from 2019, which was held, seems like a long time ago now, in June 2019. And we have sent these minutes, made these minutes available on the alumni website, and that the link to that was sent out as part of the pack to everyone that registered today. Those are proposed by myself and seconded by my vice chair, Linda White. We haven't received any objections to those minutes, so we are going to take those as an accurate record of the meeting from 2019. The next thing I want to do just for a few minutes is just update you on both my work and also the work of the Alumni Association Committee over the past year. And I thought an interesting way of doing that would just be initially to list some of the aims and objectives that I had for us kind of around this time last year. I took the role of chair at the last annual general meeting in 2019. So just on this slide and the next slide are a few of the things that I identified as priorities for myself and for the Alumni Association Committee. And what I will do over the course of the next few slides is update you on the progress of those. So if we're able to, so that's just some of the other things that I outlined. So now what I'll do, like I say, over the next slides is just take you through some of the updates. So in terms of developing relationships, one of the things that I think is very important, and Nishan referenced this in his talk, alumni need to partner with the university, and the key thing there is to build great relationships between the alumni community and figures within the university. So I've made it a priority of mine to try and solidify some of these through both things that I do as chair of the Alumni Association, but also that some of my colleagues do. And just on this slide are listed some of the areas where either the committee or myself are involved with partnership work with the university. So as an example, we sit on the University Council, which is the senior governing body of the university. So that's great to be able to give alumni perspective, but also to be kept up to date on the inner workings of the university. We also have representation on University Court, the university's nominations committee, the university's audit committee, the Centenary Board, which is a group which is charged with planning the centenary celebrations, and you'll hear more about centenary later on in this annual general meeting. Also look to develop strong relationships with key members of university staff, including the Vice-Chancellor, the Chief Marketing and Engagement Officer, and other senior staff. And that's been really useful in trying to progress some of our aims and objectives as a group. And also just want to say thank you as well. We've been given some high-level administrative support by Jackie Harley, who's the Executive Assistant to the Chief Marketing and Engagement Officer, which is allowing us to be more kind of slick and more organised in our operation, and that's really been really helpful and taken some pressure off some of the other university team that had to do that as well for us before, so they can concentrate on the things that they would rather be doing and are really good at. The next update is on the Alumni Awards dinner. Some of you will have attended this. This happened on the 5th of March in London. Obviously, we managed to sneak that in just before COVID stopped, obviously, events, which so it was fortunate in many senses that we did manage to hold that event. It was a great event. It was organised in partnership by kind of organised, host and supported by alumni working in partnership with members of the alumni relations team, and it was fantastic that we received global nominations for our awards. The awards is a fantastic opportunity. It's certainly one of my favourite events of the year because it allows us to showcase the fantastic contributions that alumni make to all aspects of the world, whether it's whether it's through work, whether it's through volunteering, charity, lots of different things, and there are listed. I won't run through them all, but listed some of the winners of awards from this year, and a huge congratulations to them again, and we're looking forward to being able to commence that event again as and when things allow. The next thing to update on, graduation. So obviously graduation is an important part of the alumni journey, because although I would always argue that the alumni journey starts when people join the university as an undergraduate, graduation does really mark the joining of the alumni community for our graduates. And for those that were at the annual general meeting last year, we updated that we introduced a alumni pin scheme, which is where everyone at their graduations would receive a branded university kind of pin, which would symbolise their joining of the alumni community. And this, every single graduate at the July and January graduations were given one of these. It went down really well, and that's something that obviously we'll look to continue as and when physical graduations can resume. Also, members of the alumni committee formed part of the procession at the graduations, and again, that's a great opportunity for us to share in those fantastic celebratory days, and also give new alumni information around what we do as a community for them. Also, obviously, unfortunately, in July just gone, physical graduations weren't able to happen in not just this university, obviously all universities, but what we did do, there were some fantastic virtual celebrations for people graduating, and as part of that, myself and some of my colleagues in the alumni committee and also the wider alumni community recorded congratulatory video messages as part of montages to send to graduating students. So that was great to be able to do that. Also, of course, alumni chapters have motored on in the last year, which is great. It's a priority for us, and I did note from the Q&A that Hamid from the chapter, which is mentioned as one of our international chapters, is on the meeting today. So welcome to you. The chapters that are active, so the London chapter launched in September 2019 and has had 3 successful events. Thank you to everyone involved in that, including Aaron Porter, who leads on that. The medical alumni chapter has been ticking along in the background, and that's due for a formal launch later on this year. That'll be a really great one, and a big thank you to Duncan, who's been taking the lead on that. And of course, our international chapters, goes without saying, they are incredibly active, and we're really grateful for that. And it's fantastic that the university alumni community has such a global reach, with chapters currently in Nigeria, Ghana, Hong Kong. Obviously, Cyprus was mentioned as one that's hoping to be set up. And in July 2019, you can see that 200 alumni in Ghana gathered for the launch of the UOL alumni cloth. So some fantastic work by chapters has been happening over the past year. Also, American Friends. So this is in effect a foundation which has been set up and led by Lucas Stahl, who's an international alumni and a member of the Alumni Association Committee. He's got a group of kind of North American alum who have put this together with the view of supporting the university with kind of donations, but also in other ways. Unfortunately, again, this was another victim of COVID. There was supposed to be a launch event in New York in May. Obviously, that couldn't happen, unfortunately, but this is scheduled in one way or another. The launch will happen later on this year in November, and the first donation was received in July. And also, of course, the centenary will provide a fantastic backdrop for engagement with alumni in the US over the course of the coming months and year. Another thing to update on is a governance review that's been taking place. So this is more of a kind of a technical one, a little bit less exciting, I guess, than some of the other updates, but no less important. Following some extensive work by colleagues on the committee, we realised that some of our governance documents, which guide the way that we work and the way that we liaise with the university, have become kind of out of date and not fit for purpose. So a culmination of that work, a task and finish group has been established to review and refine these documents for the Alumni Association. Hopefully that will help us modernise governance, streamline our processes. It's very important that we align the strategic goals of the Alumni Association and the university, because that partnership is really important so that we can all achieve our shared goals, and obviously improve the way the Alumni Association works with the university to maximise the impact of the volunteer time that is given to the university. Also, it will allow us to clarify the roles and responsibility of the Alumni Association Committee with some formal job descriptions and things like that, which we hope will be helpful from a recruitment perspective when we're trying to get people to engage with that work. The target completion of that is December 2020. The task group is going to meet for the first time this month and is being kindly chaired by Professor Graham Wynne, who's the Pro Vice-Chancellor Education at the university. In terms of plans for the coming year, obviously, like lots of organisations, lots of groups, we've had to change those slightly due to the world in which we are at the moment. But just to pick out some of those priorities, we obviously want to complete the governance review and then work with the Chief Marketing Engagement Officer and the Chair of the University Council to implement those as quickly as possible. We're really keen to expand our committee, talk about that a little bit later, and embrace the diversity of our alumni community. We want to expand opportunities for alumni to engage with the university. We want to work with colleagues to deliver an engaging alumni events programme, which we mentioned in the video that was shown at the beginning. And we also want to help support the growth of chapters both in this country and around the world. We also, of course, want to endeavour to support the university wherever possible with the current challenges. We want to continue to engage actively with the centenary celebrations and look to involve more alumni in this. We want to ensure a successful launch of American Friends. We want to continue to be active in graduations and build on the success of the alumni pin scheme. Of course, we really look forward to welcoming alumni back on campus when we're able to do this. Hopefully that will be sooner rather than later, but of course we can't predict that, unfortunately, at the moment. And one other thing I really want to say is we are very open to ideas and suggestions from members of the alumni community about what we should be doing. So please do, feel free to get in touch with us and talk to us about those. So now what I would like to do, obviously I mentioned centenary, and many of you may know that during the past year, myself and colleagues have been involved in various activity around the centenary celebrations. For example, wreath laying ceremonies throughout Leicestershire, various other things. Also, I do sit on the Centenary Board, which is a group charged with kind of giving advice and thoughts and guidance to the team within the university running Centenary. And I'm delighted that a decision has been taken to increase alumni involvement in the Centenary commemorations. So at this point, what I'd like to do is hand you over to our Centenary Project Manager, Rachel Selfridge, who will explain how each of you could be involved in the Centenary plans. So over to you, Rachel.
Thank you very much, Martin. So good morning, everyone, and it's wonderful to see so many of you here today. As Martin said, my name is Rachel Selfridge, and I currently have the role of project managing the organisation and delivery of the university's centenary celebrations. As Nishan mentioned in his keynote earlier, the university will celebrate 100 years since opening our doors in October 2021. And I'm here to talk to you today about a really exciting opportunity for alumni to be involved in the planning of these celebrations. But first, a little bit of context. So some of you, I'm sure, will be familiar with Leicester's unique founding story. On Armistice Day in 1918, local benefactor Dr. Astley Clark began a fund to establish a university college for Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland. And that was done as a living memorial to those who made sacrifices during the First World War. He was joined by many other generous benefactors who essentially came together to begin a local offer of higher education, which could be considered a very early form of crowdfunding. As I've mentioned, October 2021 marks 100 years since the university opened its doors to our first students, and this is of course an excellent opportunity for us to celebrate the university. Not only our past achievements, but also the positive impact we hope to continue to have throughout our second century. Indeed, it's a once in 100 years opportunity, and as such the university is preparing a programme of activities which we hope will inspire, celebrate, question and provoke. However, as we're all aware, 2020 has not been without its challenges, and like many of you will have had to do personally and or professionally, I'm sure, throughout this year, we've had to spend some time refining our plans. Since March 2020 to the present day, there have been two very key global events which impact how we can deliver our centenary celebrations. The COVID-19 pandemic, of course, puts pressure on the practicality of event delivery, as well as impacting the dates of our activity and when we can actually begin to celebrate. And of course, the Black Lives Matter protests and social justice movement has been very quickly impacted on our society, and it's clear that this will continue to play a large role in shaping our country's culture and behaviours. So With that in mind, we have a renewed focus, and during our centenary year, we really want to embed our commitment to be citizens of change, to celebrate our shared experience and to create new possibilities and foster sustainable futures for local communities in the city, region and worldwide. We want to showcase pioneering research, innovation and partnerships that improve lives. We want to champion diversity and inclusion through action, inspire our talented students and recognise our alumni, friends and supporters. We want to bring the world to Leicester and Leicester to the world. We want to raise our profile, change perceptions and win new advocates as we renew our commitment to an unwavering institutional mission which link our past, present and our future. And with these objectives in mind, we've established 3 key strands of activity. Our 100, which will focus on the identification of a comprehensive and inclusive list of the University of Leicester's 100. That'll be comprised of people, the places and spaces, the milestones and events, objects and artefacts that have been most significant, not only for the past 100 years, but in current times and in terms of our future impact. We'll use this list to showcase our present, past and future, and to tell the university's story. The second strand is Think 100, which will showcase the university's breadth and depth in understanding the world and how we can make it a better place. And we hope to do that through developing a comprehensive programme of events, both physical and virtual, that will be exciting and challenging, appealing to our staff, students, alumni and the wider community, addressing and supporting issues that really matter to those groups of people. And finally, Engage 100, which will deliver a programme of activity with and for our communities in the city and region and internationally that advances and celebrates diversity and inclusion, supports health and wellbeing and sustainable futures through the arts and culture, volunteering and philanthropy. So moving on to the opportunity. Where do alumni come in? So there is no doubt that you have an important role as ever to play as we operate in this ever-changing environment and context. But by providing a formalised way for representatives of the alumni community, who are of course our largest stakeholder group, to contribute ideas and input into our centenary celebration planning, we have the opportunity to enrich our programme of activity and hopefully to broaden its appeal. We're therefore inviting members of our global alumni community to form part of the project teams delivering the centenary. And this also provides us with the opportunity to diversify those groups and include different and potentially underrepresented perspectives in our planning processes. This is a really great opportunity for alumni volunteers to engage in a meaningful and exciting way. So moving on to what the role actually is, who we're looking for. We've identified key skills and qualities which we think will strengthen our planning. And these are experience of working in partnership with professional services in a large, complex and diverse organisation, understanding of large scale and complex events and activities, and particularly the organisation and delivery of those, an ability to build rapport quickly with stakeholders, both internally and externally, strong interpersonal and communication skills, and an enthusiasm for establishing and maintaining positive relationships with a wide range of people. Positive and constructive attitude and ability to contribute innovative ideas alongside an appreciation that unfortunately not every idea can be executed within the financial and time constraints that we'll be working within. An ability to demonstrate high standards of conduct and integrity, and an ability to provide a different perspective, voice the views of underrepresented groups in the planning of the celebrations, for example, the BME community. The university has a strong commitment to equality, diversity and inclusion, and through this selection process the university aims to develop candidate pools that include applicants from all backgrounds and communities, and for that reason we particularly welcome applications for these roles from women, people from Black and minority ethnic communities, the LGBT+ community and from disabled people. We'll be seeking a number of volunteers across the alumni community to join these 3 strands, and amongst whom we intend there to be at least one who is internationally based, at least one based in Leicester or Leicestershire, and at least one who has graduated within the last 5 years. They're things that we've identified as important here. So what will you actually be doing? So we'll be looking for selected individuals to attend a centenary volunteer briefing and induction with the chair of the Alumni Association, Martin, and myself, where we'll agree expectations. We'll expect attendance at monthly project team meetings for your allocated strand of celebrations, and they're currently being held via Microsoft Teams. We'll expect you to provide advice and act as a critical friend from the perspective of the alumni community to enrich ideas for celebration further and provide broader appeal to ensure the ideas will resonate across and draw from the wider alumni community. You'll be working with myself as project manager and workstream leads to plan the nature and timing of approaches and activity to maximise potential relationships with the university. You'll be helping to raise awareness and promote the university's profile through the centenary with key influences and potential supporters within your own network and beyond. And where possible, we'll be hoping that you'll actively participate in developing and delivering centenary celebration activity, for example, by acting as an ambassador, supporting delivery of a key event, or inputting into presentations and communications in order to shape narratives which will resonate with alumni and friends, especially the traditionally hard to reach. So where and when and how will this actually work? So briefings and meetings will take place via Microsoft Teams. There may be a requirement to come to the university campus as plans progress, but obviously we don't know when that might be the case as yet. Planning for the centenary celebrations is well underway, and it is envisaged that volunteers will join project team meetings from November. The period of celebration will run from April 2021 to July 2022, and we'd like volunteers to commit to attending monthly meetings throughout this time period and to supporting activity where required. Volunteers will be supported throughout the process by myself, by Martin, Chair of the Alumni Association Standing Committee, and the Vice Chair, Linda White, and also, of course, by the Alumni Engagement team. So what happens next? To apply for this opportunity, you'll need to complete a short volunteering expression of interest form. So this is hosted on the alumni website, and the link will be shared with you in the Q&A window here today and following the meeting. If shortlisted, you'll be invited for a short informal discussion about the opportunity, and the purpose of this will be for us to provide you with further information and for us to find out a little bit more about you. Selected volunteers will then be fully briefed and provided with a volunteering agreement and a briefing on the centenary from myself and Martin, which will clearly set out expectations and how the role will work. So in terms of a timeline and what the process will be, obviously we're inviting expressions of interest today, and an invitation will go out to all alumni in the coming week to enable them to find out about the opportunity and also to register their interest for anybody that wasn't obviously able to join us today. The deadline for expressions of interest will be the 23rd of October. We'll then need to verify all applications for alumni status, and then shortlisting will commence with myself and the workstream leads on the 2nd of November. So we'll be looking to hopefully invite selected individuals to have a chat with us the week commencing the 9th of November. And those selected will then be briefed the following week with a view to joining the workstream team meetings by the end of November. So I hope that has kind of given you a little bit of a whistle-stop tour of what the opportunity is and how this would work, and I hope that some of you may wish to get involved. If you do have any questions or you would like to talk the opportunity through more, then please don't hesitate to contact myself, Martin or Linda, and we'll be definitely happy to discuss these things further. We hope that you see this as an exciting opportunity. We certainly do, and I've been working with the committee to develop into something that's hopefully really robust and meaningful for our alumni community to be involved with. So we look forward to working with some of you on planning these important and exciting celebrations, and I hope to hear from some of you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rachel. That's great, and really appreciate really appreciate the work you've done on this opportunity. I think the centenary is, you know, without doubt an incredibly exciting opportunity for the university and its alumni community, not only to celebrate the amazing impact and successes of the last 100 years, but also to look to the future of what we can do over the next 100. And obviously, you know, it is an opportunity that does only come around every 100 years, so it'd be really fantastic if as many alumni as possible would be willing to engage, willing to engage with that process. So next on the items of business is the Alumni Association funds. Now, unfortunately, our treasurer isn't able to present these today. He's got a personal commitment, so I'm going to present those on his behalf. But what we're going to do normally, we'll just provide an update on the actual funds and not really go into much detail about them. But today I just want to spend a couple of minutes just trying to explain what some of these funds are. So the screen that's on at the moment is the accounts up to the end of July 2019. So they're just some figures, obviously, for your information. But what I want to just do now is just try and just give a little bit of context to what these are. So the Alumni Association has two funds which are either partially or fully under its care, and these are the Convocation Fund and the William Ruddick Fund. The Convocation Fund, so this is solely under the care of the Alumni Association, and the Alumni Association Committee are free to allocate the funds towards any purpose that is aimed at furthering the aims of the university. In previous years, the fund has been used to make awards to sports clubs, societies. I think many years ago, and during the first Students' Union redevelopment, some money was given to that. So, for example, recently, Boat Club also got some. So that one is very much around quite discretionary, and the expendable balance there is the amount that is available at the current moment for us to use. If we can move on to the next slide. The William Ruddick Fund was established in 1998 in memory of William Ruddick, who graduated with a BA in English in 1960 and went on to serve as chair of the Alumni Association. Mr. Ruddick bequeathed £20,000 towards the fund, and this was later supplemented by bequest of £1,139 by his mother, Charlotte Ruddick. A working party of administrators administer the fund on behalf of the committee, and this includes the chair of the Alumni Association, Dean of the Faculty of Arts, and the head of the Department of English, amongst others. The rules of the William Ruddick Fund are more defined. So the rules are that to award 2 equal scholarships each year to the following. So a full-time or part-time research student in the Department of English, and then a full-time or part-time research student in the wider Faculty of Arts. Note that those studying postgraduate degrees are excluded, and then you can see the kind of balance and also the expendable balance, which is the currently available amount there. Now, what we obviously we had a look at this, and given the current situation, we've at a previous committee meeting, what we decided is that in principle, and this does require a little bit of work in the background that's ongoing, to make awards based on hardship to students caused by COVID-19. The William Ruddick Fund is reasonably clear on the courses and status of any prospective recipient. So what we would like to do, our aim is to respect that and then use the Convocation Fund to make corresponding awards to students excluded by the terms of the William Ruddick Fund. So really look to try and use these funds, certainly where we've got the discretion, to support students who are suffering hardship based on the current COVID-19 situation. And we hope you would agree that that's a good use of those funds at this moment in time. I think so. The next item of business is the elections. Now, like I should have mentioned with the finance documents, I think these were made available in advance and posted on the university website. A link was sent out to those. So just to update on some of the elections around the committee. So we have a retiring member, Stephen Wright, who has been a staunch supporter of the university and a member of the committee for 9 years now. Also, I would say though, Steve won't be certainly won't be leaving the scene, because he's got a very continued involvement in the Space Centre by his job role with the university. So that thankfully Steve will be still remaining part of our efforts and university community moving forwards. We do have 2 members of the current committee who are standing for re-election for a further term of 3 years. Those are Bob Fairbrother and Lucas Stahl. So I'd like to present those names, and we haven't had any objection to those based on the correspondence we sent out. So we are going to take it that the association is happy to reappoint Bob and Lucas, and also every year we co-opt a member of the Students' Union, ordinarily the Students' Union President, as a representative to the Alumni Association Committee. This year I'm delighted that Mia, who's the Students' Union President, will be joining us on the committee for the coming year, and I look forward to Mia giving her perspective on our work. I think so. The final slide, I think, is a couple more slides to go. So one thing that I did mention earlier was that we do have some opportunities and some space on the committee for new members. We really do want to broaden the diversity of our alumni representation. So, you know, the phrase "we need you," we really would love to hear from people who are interested in joining our work on the Alumni Association Committee. What there is the option to do, which is an opportunity that we'd like to present today, is to consider standing for a 1-year co-option period. What this will allow you to do is join the committee, be co-opted for a year, see if you enjoy and want to kind of work with us on the committee, and if you do, then what we can look to do at next year's AGM is propose that you join for a full term of 3 years. Like I say, we really do want the committee to represent the broad diversity of the alumni community. So we really do. I know we've got people, you know, global members of the association on the call today. So we really would love to hear from as many people as possible about this opportunity. And you can do that via either contacting myself via email. The email's there on the screen. I think it will be posted in the Q&A, and that's also the information is also available on the alumni sections of the university website. I think the final slide will just update on the current status of membership. So this is just for reference of the current members of the committee, including myself and my vice chair. And I'd just like to just offer my thanks and ongoing appreciation to my colleagues on the Alumni Association Committee who give their time, you know, obviously give their time up voluntarily to support the work of the Alumni Association and therefore, you know, the broader work of the university. This is much appreciated by myself. I know it is, as Nisha mentioned, by him and also by, you know, by the broad leadership team at the university. So a big thank you to all of my colleagues. I think now what is going to happen is what we've got is a short video that a number of colleagues have, because obviously we put the names on the screen of the members of the Alumni Association Committee, but it's nice to be able to obviously to put a face and a voice to a name. So I believe now we're going to show a short video where that will introduce some of my colleagues on the Alumni Association Committee to all of you. Hi there, I'm Martin Cullen, Chair of the University's Alumni Association and its committee. I graduated from the university in 2006 with an LLB in law and joined the Alumni Association Committee as part of my role as Students' Union President directly after graduation. I'm involved in the Alumni Association Committee because I'm passionate about bringing alumni together for events and also about allowing alumni to maintain their relationship with the university after graduation. I'd now like to introduce some of my fellow Alumni Association Committee members.
Hello everybody, I'm Linda White and I'm the Vice Chair of your Alumni Association. I graduated from Leicester in 1978 with a degree in biological sciences. And the education and opportunities and confidence that the University of Leicester gave me have enabled me to enjoy a career of 40 years in medicines regulation. And so I wanted to give back to Leicester and I joined the committee in 2013. And during my time, my main focus has been on the awards programme to celebrate all the amazing achievements of our alumni community.
Hi, I'm Dan Flatt and I graduated in 2012. I studied BA Modern Languages Management and I joined the committee in 2015. I joined the committee because I wanted to keep in touch with my friends and give something back to the university.
Hi everyone, I'm Mia Nemard. I graduated in 2019 with a degree in human geography. I'm the current president of the University of Leicester Students' Union, and I sit on the Alumni Association to bridge the gap between current students and alumni, and particularly the views of young alumni.
My name is Lucas Michael Stahl. I graduated with a Master's in European Management and Employment Law from the University of Leicester in 1997. This will be my third term as a member of the Standing Committee of the Alumni Association of the University of Leicester. I'm also the President and Chair of the American Friends of the University of Leicester in the United States.
Hello, my name is Charles. I graduated from a double degree in French and English law in 2014. During my time at Leicester, I was a student rep, and I decided in 2018 to apply and got elected to the Alumni Association Committee to be a voice for the alumni community.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Blood. I did my Leicester Masters in 2011 in Museum Studies, and I joined the committee in 2015. It's not something I normally do, so it was a challenge to myself, really.
Hello, my name's Robert Fairbrother. I graduated in 1953 in Maths and Physics, and have the privilege of being the oldest member of the committee by a good few years. My time at Leicester was very enjoyable and rewarding. As well as studying, I played rugby football and made friends for life. I wanted to repay for the good times at Leicester by doing something for the alumni. So I applied and was elected onto the committee in 2017. My period of office ends in 2 years.
We really do encourage you to share your thoughts with ourselves and the Alumni Engagement team. And of course, if you're interested in joining the Alumni Association Committee, then please do send us an expression of interest, as we'd be delighted to hear from you. Okay, that's great. That's first time I've seen the video in full, so so that's really great. I hope you enjoyed hearing from other members of the committee. Slightly unfortunate I was wearing the same shirt as I'm wearing today. I do have more than one shirt, just in case anyone's worried about that. So what I'm going to do now is, obviously we've got probably about kind of 5 to 10 minutes. There are a couple of formalities at the end, which it'd be great if you can do, but just in this this short intervening period, kind of is like in any other business questions situation. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going a bit off plan here, so if anyone's got any objection to be doing this behind the scenes, please do let me know. But I'm going to just browse through some of the Q&A that have come in, and just try and answer any or comment on any that I can. So I think there's a question around whether kind of information slides from this presentation will be made available after this meeting. I don't see any reason why we certainly can't try and make a version of these available. That's a question from John. So certainly we will be posting lots of information afterwards. I think you mentioned some questions that weren't able to be answered by Nishan. So yes, I'm sure we can certainly look to put that slide set or something similar onto the university's website. See a question around and there's been a little discussion on this in the background around if we could any kind of commemorative centenary kind of clothing range. I think that's a cracking idea, and I think it's something that we can we can certainly look at. I think like I mentioned in my presentation, as chair of the Alumni Association, one of my big challenges is to try and get us to engage as many alumni as possible, and part of that is, if we're given ideas and suggestions, us acting on those. And so any suggestions and ideas that come through, you have my personal commitment and assurance that if they are feasible, that will be investigated, and we'll do our absolute best to deliver what the alumni community would like us to deliver. We volunteer our time to try and engage and bring together the alumni community. So any ideas, and that I certainly think is a is a really good idea. apologies, I'm just going to scrolling through these questions, so I know it looks slightly untidy that I'm live, but it's the only way I can access this. There was a question around the a couple of things. There was one around I think around how the university had done from a recruitment perspective due to the COVID thing. Now, I'm not going to give a very specific answer here because I'm not really qualified to do that. What I will do is pass on an update that was given to me as part of my role of University Council. The recruitment has been strong. The team have done a really good job, and you know, the university's looking, certainly from a home undergraduate perspective, is looking really very strong. Obviously, you know, there are challenges for the whole sector around some of the international recruitment, etc., and that still needs to play out. But the university has done a brilliant job. The kind of recruitment team, the marketing team, of really delivering in a very challenging situation. And I know the numbers are very good, which is great for not only the short term, but obviously also the long term good of the university. A question coming around the Students' Union building development, how that's coming along. Again, not to be overly specific, I can only give updates based on updates I'm given in various committees, but I believe that project is coming along apace. I know that was due to be fully open and ready for the start of this term. I think some very small delays, I believe, due to the COVID situation, but not major ones. So I would expect that the next time, you know, we're able to have alumni visitors on campus, that the new Students' Union building should be available and accessible in all its glory. And it certainly is a fantastic transformation, and, you know, excellent that the university have supported the development of that space, because obviously for lots of us, including myself, the Students' Union building really was at the heart of our university experience. Just going to see if there is any other bits that have come in. There are a number of questions, and there was one around whether we would be looking to kind of run events to engage alumni in other countries, other cities, bring them together. The short answer is obviously yes. We certainly, you know, one thing that this virtual scenario does give us the opportunity to is be much broader in our region. You know, there's a question around how the university was perhaps looking to some of the things that have happened with COVID, whether there'd be any upside there. Certainly from an alumni perspective, I think going virtual with some of these events, one thing that it does do is allow us to broaden our reach, and we're certainly going to work very hard. You know, again, you have my commitment there. We want to engage and bring together as many alumni as possible from as many, you know, areas of the world where we have alumni as possible. So that is right up there as part of our priority, to engage the broadest, most diverse range of alumni that we can in our structures, in our kind of input to the university, but also with our events. I think time is slightly against me now. So what I think is going to happen, I think what we really like is we've got a short survey, which I believe is going to be published in the Q&A. This is because again, what we really want to do is we want to get obviously get your feedback. We want to, you know, be representative of what you would like us to do. So I think there's a link to a poll going to pop up in the Q&A. We'd really encourage you all to fill in that poll. I think it's a Slido poll, I think it's called. And yeah, if you can do that, it will literally only take I think it takes kind of 30 seconds or the most a minute or two. We'd really appreciate that. So of course, really all that's left for me to do now is say a big thank you to everyone for joining us today. A thank you to everyone behind the scenes for putting this together. A thank you obviously to Nishan for his fantastic talk, and also his question and answer session. But obviously that, you know, the biggest thank you, of course, to all of you for attending today. It's been our pleasure to have you at this annual general meeting. It's been great to be able to speak to you all and share some of our work and the things that we've been doing and we would like to do moving forwards. So really that does draw our first virtual annual general meeting to a close. So yeah, on behalf of the Alumni Association and the university, again, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. As we mentioned throughout, and I really do want to emphasise this, there are numerous opportunities for you to support the university. And if these are of interest for you, please really do, we encourage you to get in touch with either myself or Paul or Laura from the alumni engagement team if you'd like further details. You can find our contact details as well as links to some of the opportunities in the Q&A, the published sections of the Q&A, and we will leave this open for the next 5 minutes or so for you to have a look at, as well as obviously the link to the Slido poll that we'd like to engage with. So a final goodbye from me, and I do really hope to see you all soon as part of our Festival of Change, partnering with alumni to make a difference.